Yes, class. Today we are going to implement the arrays, one dimensional array. So, first we should know about what is array. Array in C sharp, array is a class. Whenever you create an array, it means you are creating an object of the class. This concept architecture is different from C++. In C++, array was a variable, but here array is a class. Whenever you create any type of array, you are creating an object of this class. So it means here whenever we create array, we should use a new keyword. Why? Because in .NET framework for C# programming language, we use a new keyword whenever we create object. So object for array, object for class. So whenever you are creating object, you should use new keyword. New keyword helps to allocate memory at runtime. So here we should remember one more point. This point is same in all the programming languages. Array should have a fixed size. Array should have a fixed size. What is the meaning of this? The meaning is you are not allowed to modify the size of array during the execution of the program. Whenever your program is executing, you cannot increase the size of array. You can take the data less than the size of array, it is having no problem. But if you want to make it increase the size, you are not allowed. Okay, I am telling about you are not decreasing the size, you are not increasing the size. I am telling you data you can store less, but not more than the size of array. Okay, so here we are going to understand how to implement arrays in C#. First we will discuss about the one dimensional array. Okay, so for one dimension array, how should we write it? We will see here. Which type of array object you are taking, the same type of data you can store into it. So if I am taking integer type, I can store integer type. If I am taking string type, I can store string type. If I am taking boolean type, I can take boolean type. So it depends on the type of array object, which type of data you want to take into it. Okay, so here first we are taking like integer type. So I am taking here integer, then square bracket. We use square bracket, it is a symbol of array. Then the array name, you can take array name. Then the new keyword to allocate memory at runtime. Then which type you are taking, integer type data, and the size of array. Here you will put the size of array, like I am putting the size 10 here. So now it is fixed. You are not allowed to enter the value after the location ARR9, because we know very well the size is n here, the size is 10 here. 0 to n minus 1, you can store the value from 0 to n minus 1. So it means 10 minus 1, 9. So you are only allowed to use the location 0 to 9. Okay, so whenever you calculate it 0 to 9 locations, it is becoming 10. This is what? This is the declaration of array. Declaration of an array. Array name is ARR. After that, like I want to store here some values. I stored here 1, 2, 3. Here I am changing the name like 5. Okay, 0, 1, 5, and after that I am changing here like 8 or 6, and then we are changing the value like here. If I want to enter here 9 is okay, but if I want to enter the value for 10, you can see here I entered the value for location 10. It's 11th value. Okay, we will check now. See here, we got an error. We got an error. What is the error here? You can check the error. System.index out of range exception. Means the size is what you have taken, 10. So it means you are only allowed to take the values from 0 to 9. And here I applied this one, the array value at the 11th location. 10 is what? ARR 10, array 10 is what? 11th location. Okay, and we are allowed only for 10 locations. So because of this reason, we find here runtime error, index out of range. Okay, and you can see here after stopping it, I am not having this till compile time, no syntax error. But whenever we are taking to be executing, that time we find the error because it checks the memory location at runtime. It allocates the memory at runtime because of this new keyword. That's why we are not having any error till compile time. We were having error only on runtime. Understand? So because of this reason we are getting error for this. And if we just remove it, after that we will not have any error in this program, and you can see all the values. where you didn't put the value, on which location you didn't put the value, these locations get the value 0 by default. On these locations where you didn't provide the value, these locations by default the values 0, okay, by the C# compiler. Now this is what? This is traversing. It traverses each location of the array. One by one, each location of the array it will traverse. Okay, so that's why we call it traversing. And if you want to make any format, so we can do the formatting as well. Like, what is the name of array? ARR. Okay, and we will put here one square bracket. After that, we will put here I. And after that we will put here again like this one, and after that we will put like some space, so it will become in format. It will show the location and the element. It's like that. Now you can see ARR01, ARR1, 2, ARR2 you didn't put the value to it, so it is 0. ARR3 you didn't put the value, it becomes 0. 4 0. 5 you put the value here 3. 6 7 you didn't put it, so that's why it is becoming 0. Others 7 8 and 9 location means ARR8 means 9th location, ARR9 is the 10th location. Okay, so all the elements you can see, whatever the data you filled, the particular data came, and where you didn't initialize any data, your compiler has initialized by 0. Okay, so this is a simple program. How can we look after the single dimension array? It is a way you get all the values discrete. Discrete means one location. You put the value at one location. You put the value at 0 location, 1 location, 5 location, 8 location and 9 location. Okay, so you put the value here. Now I want to take the values in different way. So how can we initialize in another way? In another way we can initialize the elements of the array whenever you put the value to the array is called initialization of an array. You initialize the values to different location of the array. This is declaration of array where you fix the size. This is initialization of an array. This is traversing of an array. Three things we implemented here. Now we are going to try initialization in different way. So how can we initialize it? We will take all the elements whatever you need it, declaration and initialization in one line, declaration and initialization of an array like that. So here we will put the elements. So elements you can put like this. Just you start the curly bracket after this and put the some elements here. like you put the elements here and you see represents a 32-bit signed integer. It's okay, it doesn't have any problem. Here you can see an array initializer of length 10 is expected. It means your compiler is letting you know here you have keeping the size 10, so you should keep the element 10 here, number of elements be 10 here, like 50, 80, 90. So again is 1, 6, how many elements it is? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and one more. So you can see easily whenever you have given the 10 elements here, it directly removes the error. Okay, so in this regard, you can understand if the size is 10, so we should take the 10 values here. Okay, and after that you can see the result, whatever the value you have given on each location, it has been showing here. But here, if I remove this size, and whatever the number of values I am taking here, I do not have any problem. In this regard, like I remove from here these values. So what is the meaning of it? Your compiler will automatically assign the length of array according to the number of elements you are keeping here. According to the number of elements you are keeping here, automatically it assigns the length of the array. Like you have here the 5 elements, so the array length become 5. Okay, you can print the array length as well, and you can check console dot write line I am printing here array length. Array length or array size, whatever you say, same thing. And what is the variable? ARR is the name of the array, and this is the length. So you can see here now what is the array length. Array length or array size is 5 because you have 5 elements here. Accordingly, if you are increasing the number of elements, now you increase the 2 elements here, check again. So now you can see what is the array length now? 7, and these are the number of elements. So you can, whatever the number of elements you are taking, automatically your compiler will take the length of the array. Okay, so it is a best practice. You will not write a size while you are using initialization of the array. While you are giving the elements to the array, don't use the size there. Automatically your compiler will take care about that. And here whenever you are declaring array, it is compulsory to write the size and new int like that. But if you are initializing, it is not compulsory even. You can take any statement for this, like the another way, you keep elements like this directly. You can take like this or you can take like this. And another way is what? One way is like this. How many elements here? 7. So you should keep the size 7. Okay. So there are the 3 ways. This one. First we have taken the size and everything. New keyword, size and type, everything we have taken here. In second, we remove the size. In third, we remove new int and size all. So here we just take the elements of the array. Okay, and after that if you execute it, you will find no problem in the execution of your program. The same way, the same results you will got it. So it means in any way you are allowed to use the declaration and initialization of the array. Now here we are using, for traversing an array, the for loop. We have one more option to traverse an array by using for each loop. For each loop is only used for collections and the arrays. So here in C# we can apply for each loop and we will not bother about the length of array or anything. So how can we use for each loop? We will see here. First we will make a comment of this. And now we are using here a for each loop. So how can we use it? First the keyword. First we will apply the keyword. This is also a traversing of an array. Okay. Anytime whenever you are taking a value from each location of the array, it is called traversing, because you are moving from one location to another location in the same row. Okay, in the same contiguous memory location. So here first is keyword for each, then the variable. Okay, which type of data you have here? Integer type. So you should take the variable of integer type. So I am taking here integer, and this is the, I am taking like the name data. Okay, in is a operator. It is a keyword, but it is a operator. Okay, and from where we need this data? From where? From here. So this is where we have stored ARR. So we will write here ARR. So we have taken the data from the array, and after that just console write line, and where we have data? We have data inside the ARR array, and from ARR array we are taking data one by one. So first location, second location, I am not talking about the length here, nothing. It is directly taken by the system. Your compiler will take care about everything. And whenever you are writing, and if you want the same format, so you will do the same thing here as well. But here I is not coming. I is not coming. Yes, here is nothing. I is not here, but you can access your data. So you can see here the data you can access like this. What is the length of array? Is 7. It is coming from array.length property, and the data from the array. So with the help of for each loop you can access the element from each location of the array, and with the help of for loop you were doing the same thing. So you are doing traversing by using a for loop and making one array variable like I start from 0 to array length whatever, and here you can take a formatting like this, but here you are just able to access the data from each location. We have taken the formatting like this from which location, and you can see the difference here, you know, the difference, like you can see the difference. Both are traversing, this is a one way of traversing, this is another way of traversing. So with the help of for each loop also we can take the value from each location of the array. So any way, whatever you want to choose, it's your choice, but both are the way of traversing of an array. This is method 1 for traversing an array, and for each loop is another way, another method. It's a method 2, traversing of an array. Here we have initialization also 3 ways, 1 way, 2 way and 3rd way. So this is for each loop. Now here, if we convert the type of array, like we are going to take here the string type data. Okay, now we are going to take like string type data. We will change the type and the values. First value, second value, third value, so like that you can take number of values. After that, which type of array you are taking? You are taking string type array. So if you are taking string type array, so you should take care about the type where you are receiving a value. So here you can see we do not find any error here. But here you can see the error, because which type of data you have, the same type of variable you needed. That's why. So whenever you change this, and this array also has gone. So you can see here easily you have changed the type of array. Accordingly, you need to change the type of variable inside the for each loop to collect the data. And you didn't take anything else extra, just the type of variable. And after that, whenever you are executing this, you can see the results in the form of string. So both method of traversing, you can check array length, it is automatically taken because you have given the 4 names, so size is 4. And here the method 1 of traversing, we have using the for loop, and here method of traversing we have used the for each loop. Okay, so this is the way of implementation of single dimension array with different type of data.